I invite you to close your eyes. And we begin by tuning into the body, preparing the body for meditation. It's very good if the spine and the neck are pointing up toward the ceiling. I like to roll my shoulders back a couple times, opening up the heart. Today we'll be exploring the air element. One of the primary elements, air, fire, water, and earth. And so I invite you to take the air breath, and the air breath is breathing in through the mouth and out through the mouth. More subtle and refined form of breathing, simply in and out from the mouth. I invite you to put one hand over the belly, helping us to more deeply feel the inhale and the exhale. I think also with a hand on the belly, it helps us ground a little bit more, which is very helpful with the air element, so we don't kind of drift away and dream and wonder and imagination. And then I invite you to put the other hand over the heart, helping us to more deeply feel the heartbeat and the circulation, our circulation. Our theme today is seeing through the eyes of the heart. Seeing through the eyes of the heart. I invite you to take this into your practices today to see what arises for you. For this theme of seeing with the eyes of the heart. And so now we'll continue with the air element meditation, which is fundamentally a great expansion and contraction, like the heartbeat, like the breath itself, and like so many forms throughout the creation. You see this theme of expansion and contraction. like the form of the wave in the ocean, like the light of the stars that subtly contract and expand. And so on the inhale, we draw in from all directions and dimensions the energy of the breath toward the center of the heart, particularly the bottom of the heart. And then on the exhale, we breathe out in all directions, expanding our sense of awareness beyond our skin and expanding the magnitude of our heart beyond just our chest without limitation. And then on the inhale, we draw in all of this pure wisdom, all the sacred information from the far distant reaches of the creation, beyond even the stars, back to us. The air breath, just like all four elemental practices, is a purification practice. The way that purification happens with the air breath is we can breathe out and just give more and more space and freedom to all that no longer serves us in this moment. Some of us have had a hard day. Some of us have hard week, and some of us have had a hard life. So whatever is with you today, whether it's an anxiety or a sadness, a resentment, you can breathe it out, giving more and more space to that sensation and all those involved, breathing it out to the vastness where it will be held. My teacher, Pran, says that there is no such thing as bad energy. There's only energy in the wrong place. So by breathing out, we free something that might be locked up. It can be located back to its rightful place. The air element, there are many wonderful reasons to practice the air element meditation. I think there's a very strong theme of wisdom and guidance. So wonderful practice for dream work, for guidance, intuition. Anytime that we are seeking a deeper wisdom, the wisdom of the heart. It's associated with the upper centers. Very helpful practice for the mind-heart connection. Perhaps we've had situations in life where the mind didn't really lead us to happiness. We did, what was perhaps what we thought the intelligent thing to do, or we've been maybe suggested to do by society. But there wasn't that heart-mind alignment where in our hearts we deeply felt that was the way. So the air breath can help with that. And of course, between the mind and the heart is the throat center, our voice, speaking our truth and bringing our message to this reality. And the air element is very helpful for the throat. And finally, sacredness is associated with the air element. We seek shelter from the profane and the sacredness of perfection to grow toward perfection, our true nature. One of our teachers, Piravalaya, said that we are both human and angelic. The ideal is to be both human and like the angels. There is a wonderful benefit of seeing situations with the eyes of another, putting their shoes on, seeking to understand before being understood. And yet, with the air element, we get all perspectives, all points of view at once. Pure put a kaleidoscopic vision, I believe he said. So this is really the perspective of the one. Get perhaps a hint of this. Leading to deeper insight, deeper realization. The knowing behind the knowing. Okay, so I invite you to check in with how you feel now compared to the beginning of the meditation. We can return our breathing back to the everyday breath. Feeling our feet on the ground, feeling ourselves held by the chair. I invite you to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. We'll be gently retracing the steps from before. And so we begin by giving the body attention, preparing the body to practice for stillness and repose. We'll return to the air element breath, which is breathing in through the mouth and breathing out through the mouth. Ready to put one hand over the belly, helping us to more deeply feel the inhale and the exhale. And I invite you to put the other hand over the heart, helping us to more deeply feel the heartbeat and the circulation. And let us return to the air element practice. Although it really isn't a practice, it's something very real, where we breathe out in all directions and dimensions. And then on the inhale, we breathe the energy of the breath collects from the outer reaches all the way back to the bottom of the heart. It's like you're casting out a wide net and then bringing in all the treasures from all the different angles. And then we're going to explore this theme of the eyes of the heart. And so I invite you to focus your attention on the eyes, the physical eyes, as we continue the air of breath. We may feel pulsation in the head, which is a very wonderful sign, especially pulsation behind the eyes. A really beautiful practice to do when we have a headache, by the way, is to focus our attention on the eyes, increasing the circulation. It is the heart that feeds the powerful eyes, the powerful capacity for vision, with all the wonderful capillaries that branch out all throughout the eyes, bringing nourishment and oxygen, fuel for our vision. And I also invite you, so once, we have some sense, perhaps, of attention on the eyes, I invite you to move the energy of the breath on the inhale from the eyes down to the heart. So down the neck, down the throat, down into the heart on the inhale with the air breath. And then our attention gently with the energy of the breath. On the exhale, it moves back up like a circle. On the exhale, back up to the eyes from the heart. So we form like an energetic connection between the eyes and the heart. And as always, I like to invite the opportunity to bring another into our practices. Heart rhythm meditation is not a solitary path. We can really enjoy meditating with others and for others. And so perhaps you can ask your heart if there's someone that we'd like to gaze upon with the eyes of the heart, imagining them in front of us, or perhaps recalling a favorite memory. And just by witnessing them, just by gazing upon them, it's a great blessing for them and ourselves. Perhaps we've had this experience that without words, with just one glance, we've been moved by another. There are stories of the great mystics just by glancing at someone with their gaze transform their being. And so now I'll put on our piece of music for tonight. I hope you enjoy. Thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week.